Today I'm going to be talking about my media detox that I've just previously done. For me, it was really eye-opening. It showed me how reliant I am on media. It's scary to think about how much media I use in a day, and it's not even the amount I use, it's the amount I flick back and forth within a minute. It showed me that the reliance on media is ridiculous. It's a waste of time. Literally, I procrastinate on media by using it to do nothing. I do absolutely nothing when I could be doing a lot more useful things. When I didn't use media for the day, it gave me a lot of free time to myself. It allowed me to do a lot of stuff I necessarily wouldn't do when I had the use of media, because I just sit in my room, watch film, watch a TV show, but instead I couldn't do that, so I ended up cleaning my room, cooking meals from scratch and stuff. It's really eye-opening how you spend so much time using media that it withdraws you from other things that are important. It showed me that our dependence is just ridiculous. We can't go a day without using media. I did, but I felt really isolated from the rest of the world. I didn't know what was going on. And for me, communication is a big part of my day. Living away from home means that I probably talk to my parents every day, especially my mum. So not being able to use media for the day, I found it really hard. And it shows me how communication is a big part of our lives, because now we're so used to it and it's so normal on an everyday basis. We just can't not live without it. I think it's impossible not to use media because it's so ingrained in our society that we just see it as normal. We'll sit in a room with a group of friends, we'll get our phones out and we'll start texting, or we'll go on Facebook or other social network sites, and we're not really communicating with each other. We're just on our phones. I don't understand how society's got to the part where we can't even sit in a room and just speak normally without being on our phones for a minute. Throughout my experience, I'd say for the day I was really bored, which is really worrying because that kind of indicates for me that I can't go a day without doing stuff, without being bored if I'm not using media. Also, I found because our learning environment is so full of the use of media as well, it made it impossible for me to do even any studying, because we use books, we use online sites like Moodle and different stuff like that. It just made it really hard, so practically you could do nothing for the day. I think media can be good, but it just depends on the way we use it, I guess. For studying it can be really good, but you have those other distractions like Facebook and text messaging and different stuff, and it kind of just gets your concentration away from it, so you're never really fully focused on something. And I think that's one of the biggest problems of media, because it kind of draws your attention away from something and you're left with something that you can't put your full attention towards. I definitely felt excluded, very isolated, and it worries me to think that we can't go without media. We have to be on Facebook all the time. We have to know what's going on in the outside world. For me, the experiment showed me that I really do need to cut my usage down on social networks and WhatsApp and stuff. I use it so frequently. In my journal, literally, there was WhatsApps like 5 in a minute. It's ridiculous. It's a waste of my time. There's no need for me to be communicating that frequently. I think it's good to have it so you can keep in touch with people, but using it practically every minute of every day is just unnecessary. It really is. There's no need for that, and I definitely do need to cut that down in order to try and just make myself a bit more relaxed, because you've got so much going on in your head all day when you're constantly on media. I just think it is ridiculous. It really is. Definitely media is one of the biggest forms of procrastination for me. The experience for me, it was eye-opening to see how reliant we are and how much we use it. It is ridiculous, I think, but from my experience, it's definitely taught me that I use it way too much, too frequently, and I definitely do need to cut it down. I guess media is just so predominant in our society that we're just so used to it that we have to be on it all the time in order to feel like we're kind of like in the loop of things. And for me, when I wasn't using it, I felt like I knew nothing at all. I just felt really withdrawn and kind of not knowing what's going on in the outside world, which I guess is just, we wouldn't feel that way until media was introduced and we kind of were able to do those things through media. I definitely think it restricts us without us even realising it does, because we think it's great, we think we have access to everything, but really it's restricting us from the things that are most important. We don't realise what's really important to us. It kind of blinds us. It's like we're kind of blindsided by media, I think. But definitely for the day, it gave me a lot more time to myself. I was able to do things I just wouldn't think of, but it was really hard to just not be able to read or just to get my phone out and just sitting there doing nothing. It definitely was eye-opening to how much we do use it. And at the end of the day, I did feel a lot better without using it. And it also meant I could go to sleep earlier. I wasn't in bed like messing around on my phone or anything. It just meant I could get an early night and I felt really like refreshed the next morning. It's just scary how we can't do that with the use of media. We have to kind of like chuck our phones away in order to be able to get a good night's sleep. It's worrying to think that we just can't get on with normal day stuff without doing that. So I definitely think that I need to cut down my media usage. I definitely learned from the experiment that we're too dependent on it. Like we're just reliant on it for everything. And I definitely think I will be cutting down my usage of media because it is ridiculous, and it just like detracts me from other stuff that is important. Yeah, that's it.